Hi, I'm Kiri. Welcome to the Backyard in a Box series. This series will teach you how to establish sustainable practices in your family daycare, childcare centre or preschool. In this clip, I'll teach you the best way to compost. As always, make sure you've got everything included in the Backyard in a Box starter pack. The most important piece of equipment is your compost bin. Firstly, find a sunny spot for your bin. The heat generated will aid in the composting process. Make sure that the bin is level and that there are no gaps between the base of the bin and the ground, as this will attract animals. Sprinkle the compost starter inside the bin, making sure to cover the entire area. The starter will introduce the correct bacteria to kick-start the composting process. Everything you put into your compost bin falls into two categories: green waste and brown waste. Basically, green waste is a source of nitrogen, which introduces heat to the compost. On the other hand, brown waste is a source of carbon, providing fibre for the compost bin. Common green waste includes fruit and vegetable scraps, coffee grounds, tea leaves, grass or young weeds before they develop seeds. Common brown waste includes fallen leaves, autumn leaves, dead plants and weeds, sawdust, cardboard, old straw and hay. Other compostable items you may not have thought of are paper towels, paper bags, cotton clothing, eggshells and hair. Layer or mix the green and brown waste in your bin so that they come into contact with one another. It should be roughly half green waste and half brown waste. Avoid large clumps. Try to keep an even mix throughout the bin. Your bin is a delicate balance between air and water. Generally speaking, your mix should be about as damp as a sponge after it has been wrung out. If your pile appears dry, you can add a little water. Or if it appears too moist, you can add more brown waste. The temperature of your bin is very important, as it's an indication of the microbial activity in your bin. The easiest way to check the temperature is by hand. If it is hot or warm, the decomposition is working properly. If it's not warm enough, then you can add more green waste, compost starter or soil. This should give the compost pile the boost it needs. Sprinkle a little bit of lime each time you layer your waste, or when your bin is smelly. Turn your pile twice a week with your compost stirrer. Mixing the pile creates airflow and encourages aerobic composition. With adequate turning, you will produce a sweet-smelling compost bin. If your pile has a sour smell, there's not enough airflow, so you better get turning. There are a few things you should avoid putting in your compost bin, things such as meat, bones, nappies and glossy magazines. Depending on how much waste you produce, it'll normally take about 3 months to fill a compost bin of this size. Once it's full, leave it to sit undisturbed for 3 months. Make sure you don't add to the bin during this time, but keep an eye on the moisture and the temperature. Remember that compost that's not quite ready can rob the soil of nitrogen as it continues to break down, so don't remove it from the bin until it looks like this. At the end of this 3-month wait, you should have a pile of compost that's about 1/3 the size of the original. You can use this compost around the garden. Dig it into your garden beds or use it to start a new compost pile. Thanks for watching and get composting today.